there's one thing that every Amazon FBA success story that I've seen has in common. And if you know and understand this one thing, your chances of being successful on Amazon are infinitely higher. And I'll be honest, there's 5 million sellers on Amazon right now, 5 million people trying to sell their products on Amazon. 4,000 new sellers are joining every day. Amazon FBA is really saturated, but despite that, you can have success with Amazon if you do it right. And I'm gonna talk about why my first Amazon FBA product was such a huge success versus my most recent Amazon product, which even though it's done all right, hasn't done nearly as good as my first one. And in fact, every single Amazon FBA success story that I've seen has this same principle in mind. And it's one of those things I didn't realize until after launching my most recent product. And it's something I wish I would have known before launching this product. And after I explain that principle to you of this thing I've noticed that all Amazon success stories have in common, at the end of this video, I want to share with you something deeply personal, something kind of embarrassing about my Amazon business, something I honestly didn't think I was going to share, but I think I owe it to you, and I want to be really honest with you in this video. So I'll talk about that personal thing, a little bit of a change that I'm going to be making in my Amazon business later in this video. And as you know, if you watch this channel, my first Amazon FBA product, when I launched it, was a huge success. Within 2 months of launching this product on Amazon, I was doing $300 a day passive income. And I launched it around into November, December 2017. By January of 2018, that month I did around $30,000 in revenue. And after the cost of my product, Amazon FBA fee, all my expenses, I did about $10,000 profit in my first month. And that continued for the entire year of 2018. I made around $120,000 profit my first full year really selling on Amazon FBA. But now, if you've been watching this YouTube channel and you know I share all my numbers, my most recent product has not done quite as well. It's doing closer to 150 units a month of sales, which is probably $5,000 or so. And after my product costs and all my Amazon FBA fees, it's closer to $1,000 a profit per month right now. And keep in mind, I launched it just a few months ago. That should increase in time, but still $1,000 a month profit is not even close to the $10,000 a month profit my previous product was doing. And this begs the question, why? Now, I will be honest, Amazon is a lot more saturated than it was back when I started. But to be fair, even back when I started just a few years ago, people said that Amazon was too saturated then, and they talked about how a few years before that, it was the perfect time to start. And this cycle constantly continues. And the truth is, Amazon is a really big opportunity. Amazon right now is a $1.5 trillion company. Their stock has gone up 30, 40, 50% since the start of the pandemic, which is absolutely crazy. And the reason is because e-commerce is obviously the future, which Amazon makes up 50% of all e-commerce purchases. And as I've talked about on this channel before, 2/3 of all sales that happen on Amazon are from third-party sellers. This means people like you and me selling on Amazon's platform. A lot of people think that it's Amazon selling all the products that are on Amazon, and that's not true. It's third-party sellers like you and me that are selling these products. Now, I will 100% admit, private label, wholesale, like all the old school marketing techniques, those are outdated. It's too saturated to be doing typical private label. And I will fully admit, part of the reason my most recent product did not do as well as my first product was because it's not even a passion product, which is what I always talk about on this channel. It was kind of a Me Too product. There was other similar products out there. Now, this product was differentiated in some ways, but the market that I launched this product in was so saturated. There's so many similar products out there, which is completely the opposite of what I talk about and teach on this channel. But that's not the real reason why I think this product wasn't as successful as it could have been. So let's talk about how to quickly succeed right now on Amazon. Then I'm gonna share with you the biggest principle, the thing that I see that all Amazon FBA success stories have in common, what they do that's different from what the people that fail do. That's number 2. And then at the end of this video, number 3, I'm gonna share with you my personal share, something that I didn't think I was gonna talk about, but I feel like I owe it to you to be honest about something that's, like I said, kind of embarrassing and something I kind of don't want to share, but it's been eating at me that I haven't talked about this publicly, and it's about my Amazon business, so I feel like it's something I should share with you in this video. So first off, if you want to succeed on Amazon right now, the questions you need to be asking yourself is, what makes you different? What makes your product different than the competitors? And what makes your product better than the competitors? Again, this is so freaking important, and it's something that a lot of people don't think about. Back 5, 6, 7 years ago, you could launch any kind of junk product on Amazon and it would do decently well. Things have changed. It's obviously Amazon's a little bit more of a saturated platform than it was back then. You can still have success, but you need to be launching products that are better and different than the competition. You can't just go to Alibaba anymore, find a generic product, slap your label on it, and put it on Amazon. And maybe you get lucky and you find a product that you can do that, but I guarantee within the next few weeks, few months, you're gonna get a ton of competitors. It's gonna become too saturated. It's gonna become a price race to the bottom. Your competitors are gonna be $1 cheaper than you. You're gonna lower your price by $1, they're gonna lower their price. And eventually, the only people that are gonna be winning are the manufacturers in China because they're making all the money. And so you don't wanna be doing generic private label stuff. I've talked about that a lot on this channel. And obviously, in addition to having a better product and a product that's different than the competition, the other thing that I personally think is that you should be passionate about your product. That's why I call it a passion product. I think it makes it so much easier to create a better product, to create a unique product. But that's up to you. That's something that I've talked about in enough other videos. But what I want to talk about now is the one thing, the principle of wu-wei. And this principle is something that I've seen every single Amazon success story that I've personally seen has in common. And in fact, this principle of wu-wei is probably the most important thing I've learned in the last 7 to 8 years of being a full-time e-commerce entrepreneur. I had a corporate job a little 7.5 years ago or so. I ended up becoming really depressed, quit my job to start on e-commerce full-time. And it wasn't until 3 years ago or so that I actually launched my first fully Amazon FBA product. But during this entire time, this principle of wu-wei is probably the most important thing I ever learned. And before I explain what wu-wei means and why it's so important in entrepreneurship and Amazon FBA, it's important to understand something about hard work. Now, growing up, I thought hard work was the only way to have success. And I want to be very clear. I do think that working and putting a lot of effort and putting a lot of energy into something is the way to make it successful. But this idea of hard work is something that I'm really against. And a few years ago, if you would have asked me, that was my motto, was, no pain, no gain. It's all about the hard work. But what I'd like to switch your mindset on, and something that I've learned in the last 7.5 years, is don't think about doing hard work. Hard work is the wrong thing. You should be doing fun work, easy work. It should be work that you love to do. And let me give you an analogy. The hardest work I ever did in my life was the last 6 months of my corporate job. This is when I was extremely depressed. Going to my job every day was it's still the hardest thing I've ever done. And I'd sit at a desk for 10 hours a day in prison. In my opinion, it was slavery. It was a type of prison, and it was absolutely terrible. They told me when to wake up. They told me when to take lunch breaks. It was soul draining. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. It doesn't sound like it should be hard. I drove to a job and I sat at a desk all day long, but it really tore my soul out of my body. Now compare that to when I was launching my original product, Performance Nut Butter. I was excited. I was having fun. Sure, from the outside, it looked like I was doing a lot of hard work, and I was doing a lot of work, but it was one of the easiest things in a lot of ways that I've ever done. The way I like to describe this is if you've ever seen a Rocky montage. Yeah, Rocky's doing a lot of hard work, but he's enjoying it. And you got the dopamine flowing, you got your serotonin flowing. The real hard work in life is, you look at concentration camps where they'd have Jewish people carry a 50-pound bag of salt from one side of the camp to the other side and then back again, just to torture them. That is hard work. When you're doing work that your mind, your body, your soul, your heart is all in alignment saying, this is something that I'm really excited about, something I'm really enjoying, it stops being hard work. It just starts being work. And in all honesty, some of my happiest periods in my life is when I was doing work that I was really engaged in, that it was flowing. And then this is more or less the idea or the principle of wu-wei. And wu-wei is a Chinese philosophy term, basically, that means non-forcing. And my question to you is, where in your life are you trying to force things to happen and they're just not working? And I'm not saying, there's obviously going to be obstacles you have to overcome. But when I had my corporate job, going to work every day, I was forcing myself to do something my heart and soul absolutely didn't want to do. And at the time I didn't need to do because I'd saved up a decent amount of money. And so that's why I was getting depressed. I fully believed, my mind and heart and everything knew I didn't need to be doing this. And so I personally decided to quit cold turkey and start my first e-commerce business. But this idea of wu-wei is why my first business succeeded. is because I was excited about it. I wasn't forcing myself to do this. It was something that I really wanted to do. And don't get me wrong, there was parts where I woke up and I was nervous or I was scared and I wasn't sure what to do, but overall things flowed a lot easier. Compare that with performance nut butter cacao. If you've watched this YouTube channel for like the last year or so, when I've shared all my updates about performance nut butter cacao, nothing was working. I wasn't really enjoying it. As you probably know if you've watched my previous videos, yeah, I think performance nut butter cacao is a great product, but I wasn't nearly as excited about that as I was original performance nut butter. My personality type, I like launching new things. I like bringing things that are completely new and different into the market, where performance nut butter cacao was relatively similar to original performance nut butter and wasn't as big of a game changer. And here's the thing, beginners focus on the techniques and the tactics. A lot of people that clicked on this video wanted me to share a specific technique on Amazon that someone forgot to do. But honestly, experts or higher level people that have been in the entrepreneurship game for a long time, they know that the techniques and the tactics change all the time. They're not that important. What's really important is the principles. And I'll do a separate video talking about wu-wei, talking about how to know if you're forcing something versus if it's something that you're actually supposed to be doing. And I think that the short answer is learn to listen to yourself, not the outside voices that are coming at you, like telling you what to do, but learn to listen to your subconscious, your heart, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Learn to listen to that part of you that knows the right answer. But now I want to share with you something deeply personal. And before I do that, smash the like button, because again, this is me being vulnerable, sharing some things that a lot of people probably wouldn't share, and I want to be honest with you. That's the whole reason I started this YouTube channel, was to be honest, transparent, show the ups and the downs of the journey. And here's the truth, I'm not that passionate about performance nut butter anymore. And if you've been watching a lot of my videos, that's probably become relatively obvious. And it's difficult for me to admit, because here I am teaching how to sell on Amazon, teaching how to sell products that you're passionate about. And my Amazon FBA product that I used to be so passionate about, I'm just not as passionate about it anymore. And I've been reluctant to share this because I don't want to come off as like a fake guru. And there's a big movement on the internet like exposing fake gurus. Even though I share everything, I'm totally open, I share all my numbers, I share everything like that, I still get people calling me a scammer, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, because I give away 95% of the stuff I do absolutely for free. And I want to be clear, I still think Amazon FBA, I still think launching passion products is one of the biggest opportunities that are out there. And I also want to be clear and honest, I'm going to continue to launch new products. It's just my existing product that I've had for the last 3 years, I'm not as excited about it. And realistically, I have 3 different options at this point. And I will talk about what my next Amazon product will be later in this video. And I am going to continue to launch new passion products. But with performance nut butter, at this point, I've really got 3 different options with it. The first one, probably one of the easiest, most obvious options, sell my company. And I could probably get $300,000 to $400,000 for this company. And that would be a pretty easy and realistic solution, because it would get rid of a lot of my stress and anxiety. And I will talk about why I'm not as passionate about performance nut butter as I used to be in just a minute after I explain these 3 different options. But first option would be to sell it. And the reason I don't necessarily want to sell it is I had the goal to sell it for $1.5 million. Right now, it's probably worth $300,000 to $400,000. So it's way short of my goal. Still might not be a bad idea. And the benefit of that is I could share with you and make YouTube videos talking about the process of selling a business. But there's still a part of me that thinks I could get a lot, like if I just put a little bit of work into it, or if I hired some people to put some work into it, I could probably sell it for a lot more. The second option is to just let the business keep running, keep being completely passive. I mean, for the last 1.5 years or so, it's been pretty much running passively, just making me money, even though I haven't really put that much work into it. Now, to be fair, I did put a decent amount of work into launching a performance nut butter cacao, but in the last 1.5 years, I probably made, I don't know, $150,000, $200,000 from original P&B during that time. Now, the main reason I don't want to do that is because eventually the company will die. Obviously, if I let it keep doing passive income for the next 3, 4, 5 years, at some point, the business is gonna die off. Like eventually, more and more competitors are gonna come in, things are gonna happen. Eventually, the business will die off. And the big reason I don't wanna do that is because Performance Nut Butter is a really awesome company. I still fully believe in the product. And as I mentioned, I'll talk about why I'm not as passionate about it in a minute, but it's an awesome company that has a ton of potential. So I don't know if I really want to do that, but there's days where I'm so stressed out, and the reason I'm stressed out is really silly. I'll talk about it in a minute as well, that I'm so stressed out and like I just don't want to deal with Performance Nut Butter anymore, and I just want to like let it go and let it run. Now, I have been able to solve my stress around Performance Nut Butter. I'll give you part of the reason I've been so stressed around Performance Nut Butter is because I am sharing everything I do with that company live on this YouTube channel. So when the business isn't doing so well, I feel bad because, you know, the truth is I haven't been putting a ton of time into it. And so if the business doesn't do well, I get stressed, even though I don't think Performance Nut Butter is my biggest opportunity right now because, like I said, I'm not as passionate about it. So anyways, the third thing that I could potentially do is hire somebody to run it and just like let them completely run it, let them go with it. And the benefit of this is it could potentially grow a lot bigger. I could eventually sell it for a lot more, or I could just keep it as passive income on the side. And I'll tell you which one of these three I decided to do in just a minute, but do me a favor, comment down below what you would do if you were me. If you had a business that's still making good money, that has a lot of potential, but it's not as exciting for you. I'm, at this moment in time, way more passionate about teaching other people how to quit their corporate job, quit the prison that is corporate world, to get their freedom, to be able to make money, to live their dream life. That is way more interesting to me than trying to grow my business from what it was, a few months ago, it was $10,000 profit per month to going up to $30,000. More money isn't the answer. It's like, it's not gonna make me happier. But if I can help other people slay the money dragon, like get rid of their dependency on their corporate jobs and be able to do whatever they want, that's exciting to me. That's really like, that makes me get excited to wake up in the morning. And that's another big thing with Amazon FBA. Was the best thing I ever did, because my first year I was making 6 figures. My second year I was making 6 figures. It's dipped a little bit so far this year because I've ignored it for the last year and a half. But what it did is it gave me that freedom to find something that I was really passionate about. And funny enough for me, the thing that I'm really passionate about is teaching e-commerce, doing YouTube. I love making YouTube videos. I love like working with students, trying to make their businesses successful. And so what I've decided ultimately is that I want to spend less energy trying to grow my business and more energy trying to grow my students' businesses. And what I realized is, first off, I'm gonna learn a lot more by working with students, working with their businesses. That's how I'm gonna learn the most. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about in life is learning new things and solving challenges and teaching other people. So I'm gonna learn more by working with my students' businesses. And on top of that, it's more satisfying to me. And kind of just the cherry on top, and I almost hate to admit this because it's become such a cliche, is I'm gonna make more money doing that. And I know a lot of people think that seems scammy or whatever, but here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. And if you can understand this principle about how to make money in life, then you'll be so successful. The way to make your dream come true is to make as many other people's dreams come true as possible. Now with Performance Nut Butter, it helped people to eat healthy, it helped people to lose weight, it helped people to have more energy. And that's pretty good. The reason I was so successful with that company was I was helping a lot of people. Now, if I can help people to create their own business, to create passive income, of course I'm gonna make more money doing that. So I know at times that sounds bad, but something else I wanna point out is, as I already kind of alluded to, I'm gonna launch new passion product businesses. In fact, my goal is every year to go through my course, launch a new passion product business, because I do believe, first off, it's really exciting and it's really fulfilling to create like a new product from scratch. It's really fun. And I do think that it still can be very lucrative. Now, Performance Nut Butter for me has become somewhat stressful, partially because I'm so open and honest on this YouTube channel about it, that I feel like if it's not doing well, that people are not gonna believe in Amazon FBA, that people are not gonna wanna launch a passion product, and that stresses me out a little bit, because I know how good of an opportunity this is, and I don't want people to pass up on this opportunity because my business isn't as successful as it possibly could be. And so I stay up at night sometimes thinking about that. And funny enough, obviously I don't spend that much time on Performance Nut Butter, but here's the thing, when I'm not spending time on Performance Nut Butter, I'm feeling guilty that I'm not spending time on it, even though my biggest opportunity right now is making these YouTube videos, helping my students be really successful, because this is my grand vision. If I can get enough students to be really successful, I want to create a movement of people creating passion products. I want to create a tribe, a community of people that are all selling products that they 100% believe in. That excites me right now. Like, that's what I want to do. Trying to grow my nut butter company, as cool as that could be, just doesn't excite me nearly as much as trying to grow a whole tribe, like a whole movement, where it's, instead of people saying, oh, are you starting a private label company? I want people to be like, oh, that's a cool passion product. And to be honest, with Performance Nut Butter, the last few months, last year or so, I had a lot of anxiety. Even I talked a little bit about it on this channel, but I had a lot of anxiety because I know that people are watching and I'm always trying to make the right decision, what I should do with my business. But here's the truth. The reason to learn from someone like me isn't because I always make the right decision. It's because I think a lot about what's the right decision, what's the wrong decision. And truth is, I make a lot of the wrong decisions. I've been doing this again for almost 8 years, and I've made almost every single mistake that you can make. And I know what it takes to be successful with e-commerce, because that's what I've been studying for the last 8 years. I mean, I basically have my doctorate in e-commerce. I've spent the last 8 years 100% focused on that, studying success stories, studying failures. I've gone through the ups and the downs. And ultimately, what I'm deciding to do with Performance Nut Butter is kind of a hybrid model. I'm gonna start sending out some feelers. I'm gonna start asking people, are they interested in buying it? Like, go talk to other keto companies, get an idea of who's interested in buying this company. I'm not gonna sell it anytime too soon. My goal is to spend the next 6 months seeing if I can grow it from paying other people. So I recently hired an intern who's going to completely take over Performance Nut Butter. Anytime over the next 6 months that I work on Performance Nut Butter, I'm only gonna be working on it to teach him how to run the business and how to grow the business. On top of that, I found a friend that has a digital marketing agency that is basically gonna start running paid traffic using Google Ads and doing funnels and trying to grow the company. Again, this is something that I know how to do, that I'm relatively good at, but it's not as exciting for me right now. I'm so much more interested in trying to help out students in the Passion Product Formula, trying to help them grow their business, trying to build this community, this tribe, trying to really make great YouTube videos. That's so much more exciting to me than creating a funnel and running paid traffic to Performance Nut Butter. So I'm gonna hire him and pay him. And the truth is, Performance Nut Butter might end up losing money over the next 6 months. I don't know. My goal is to run a lot of tests. I'm gonna let you know. Like, we started a YouTube for Performance Nut Butter. I don't know if that's gonna work out. We started a podcast for Performance Nut Butter. I don't know if that's gonna be profitable. I don't know if the paid ads are gonna work. I don't know if any of this is gonna work. And here's the deep, honest truth. Performance Nut Butter in the next 6 months to the next year might fail. It might end up going bankrupt. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And it's hard for me to admit. And even if it does end up going bankrupt, it doesn't mean that Amazon isn't, this is the thing that's been holding me back, is even if Performance Nut Butter, something ends up happening to it, it doesn't mean that Amazon isn't a good platform. Amazon's an absolutely amazing platform. It doesn't mean that passion products aren't the right way to go. Trust me, I've tried out almost every way to make money online, and creating a passion product is by far the best, most rewarding thing to do. But I'm at that point in my journey where I've kind of evolved to the next level. I've created a successful business. I know that I can do this. Now, my job is to teach other people how to get to the top of the mountain. And along the way, as I did mention, I'm gonna continue to launch passion products. I'm working with a student in the course right now, and I have a part ownership in his company, and I'm gonna help him launch a product. And here's a big thing, around November, December of this year, I'm gonna launch a Kickstarter for a completely brand new product. It's gonna be a high-end, like a premium clothing item. I'm not gonna give away too many details yet, but if you wanna be the first to know about this, I'll put a link down below. You can join the waitlist for this company. The current name, the work in progress name, is Creator Clothing Co. So you can click on the link down below if you want to join the waitlist for that. But the reason that company excites me so much is, first off, the product that I'm going to be making is really different, really unique from what is out there. And I think it's really needed at this time. But on top of that, what I'm going to be doing is on this YouTube channel, probably come mid-September, is I'm going to completely document the entire experience. At the same time, I'm going to be going through my own course, making sure everything's up to date, testing new ideas, really trying to make my course as amazing as it possibly can be. And so I'm gonna be doing the YouTube, I'm gonna be doing the course, and I'm gonna be launching a brand new product. And at this point in my entrepreneurial career, things need to check multiple boxes. Like, it's not just about the money for me. It needs to be all-encompassing, exciting, and rewarding. And the whole point of this YouTube channel is talking about how to turn passion into profit, how to turn passion into freedom. And remember to enjoy the journey and join the waitlist for my new product. It's gonna be really awesome.